Ahead this morning, schools accused of racial discrimination. Nicole Neily with Parents Defending Education tells us about some new complaints just filed with the Department of Education this morning. Early this morning, the parents' rights organization, Parents Defending Education, filed 3 complaints with the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights over race discrimination in 3 school districts. And joining us right now is President of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily. We appreciate you joining us this morning and telling us about this. First of all, these 3 cases involve schools in Oregon, Portland, Maine, and a school in Vermont. And I want to start with the school in Oregon first. That's where affinity groups were established in the school district at elementary, middle, and high school levels. So tell us first, what are these groups? What's the purpose? And what does your formal complaint state?
Sure. So affinity groups, or sometimes they're called healing circles, are groups that are established by schools. Sometimes they're voluntary, sometimes they're mandatory, but they separate students on the basis of immutable characteristics, be it skin color, be it sex. Sometimes there are ones that are for sexual identity, but they encourage students to go into an identity group and exclude students who do not fit that. And so we believe that this is not only immoral, but it's also unconstitutional, because what these school districts are doing with federal funding is they are treating students differently on the basis of race, which is prohibited both by Title VI as well as by the 14th Amendment.
Right. And there was also a job posting I read to hire an elementary student affinity group advisor. So then what was the criteria of that role, and who was the ideal candidate for that position?
Sure. So they're looking to hire somebody from within the district, but the job description says that they're looking for someone who can personally identify with the same affinity as students in the affinity group, or demonstrate a strong allyship for the particular affinity group. So again, they're trying to hire someone on the basis of these characteristics, which again is unconstitutional.
And in Portland, Maine public schools, the complaint there deals with something similar, a group that's not open to all, and also has a site linked to an article called Why People of Color Need Spaces Without White People. So tell me more about this group.
Sure. In Portland Public Schools, they have had a BIPOC community circle for staff members actually since 2017. So this has been going on for a really long time. And this is open to Black, Indigenous, Asian, Middle Eastern, Latinx, and mixed race staff members. But again, because the same page links to that article about why people of color need spaces without white people, it really sends a very clear message that there are some staff members who are just not welcome at this space, which you're not able to do.
Yeah, and there's a similar group that's being developed in Shelburne Community School, which is in Vermont, and this is for an opt-in racial affinity group for students in grades 3 through 8th grade. So kids as young as 7 or 8 years old can join in these groups. What are parents saying about this, and how did you find out about it?
Yeah, we received complaints from these districts, and we looked into it, and parents are upset, and rightfully so. Children are being taught to view each other first and foremost through the lens of these identities, rather than to just view all children and each other as common humans. They're not viewed as individuals, but instead they are valued and identified by their sex, by their race, and we don't want that. And parents don't want their children learning those lessons. They want children to treat everyone with kindness, no matter what.
And Nicole, we know this is not exclusive to just these particular school districts. So how can parents find out if these groups are being developed or currently exist within their own school district?
Sure. We encourage people to, look through their school newsletters, look on their school website. They're called different things: affinity groups, healing circles, things like that. But schools advertise for these. One thing that's interesting about the Ashland School District job posting is that one of the job responsibilities is actually for that administrator to go and identify and create lists of students based on these characteristics, which is frankly appalling that we have school districts, public school districts, that are now trying to make lists of students based on their sex, on their skin color. I mean, this really feels like it's 1950. This is not what should be happening in 2023.
Yeah, Parents Defending Education President Nicole Neily, we appreciate you joining us this morning and giving us information on this and bringing this to light. We appreciate that.